CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Well, there was nothing in the budget for BC Ferries as it faces mounting losses and declining ridership. Ferries had been hoping for something, a mention at least, an increase in government funding, but the tight-fisted budget offers no help. The province says there's no room in the budget to give more money to BC Ferries, which currently receives $170 million a year from taxpayers. The finance minister slapped a cap on spending for the coming year, and that includes the ferry subsidy. But the NDP says if the fleet doesn't get more funding, some kind of help, it could be in big trouble.
The report's been in his hands for over a month now, about a month, and they're failing to act on it. And BC Ferries, we all know, has been a huge mess since the Liberals tried to privatize it. Skyrocketing fares, ridership down, executive compensation out of control, and no long-term vision. And that's a key. And he needs to sit down and get to work on it.
A report from the Ferries Commissioner last month said the system is in trouble and that ferry fares have reached a tipping point with consumers as passenger loads continue to drop. BC Ferries said following the report last month it needs more government subsidies to stay afloat.
We're going to need some help over the long term to solve this problem, and that's looking at reasonable service levels for the communities, making sure the ships are there when they need them, but not running them when they don't need them, and asking the government to look at the service levels and the subsidies that they provide, because we're going to need some help.
It's just about throwing more money at something. I mean, I think the report clearly indicated that there should be an opportunity to talk about service levels, utilization rates, what can we do to fine-tune this. But again, I don't want to just say money is the only fix to this issue. We're looking at sustainability and long-range funding and long-range opportunity for BC Ferries. I'm optimistic we can get there.
The Transportation Minister said today he will be going through that Ferry Commissioner's report with a fine-tooth comb. As for the Ferries CEO, no comment on the budget today. Well, the province wants you to know that BC's trees are in good hands by showing us that the forests are anything but dead. And to prove it, the Association of BC Forest Professionals toured a seed orchard and nursery in Saanich today. The association wants to show you how it is restoring BC's forests after a report from the Auditor General that says the forest industry is mismanaged in BC. The tour highlighted tree inventories and the mid-term timber supply in the province, which will reforest Crown land around BC.
By reforesting with fast-growing trees, desirable species, we're able to produce timber for future generations and benefits. Right here in Saanich, we're producing seeds specific to the coastal forests of British Columbia. We're producing enough seed here to reforest thousands of hectares, grow enough seed to plant 10 million trees per year. So
the ministry says there are about 240 million trees planted in British Columbia every year. Well, last night on CTV News at 6, we had the results and we showed you some of the winners of the Victoria Leadership Awards underway in Victoria this time last night. And we are extremely proud of one of those honorees who has been recognized for the good work he does in the community, our Bruce Williams. And he joins us now live in Nanaimo. Bruce, you were named the Rotary Community Leader of the Year along with former Oak Bay Mayor Chris Costin. Well-deserved.
Thank you.
Largely, I mean, not to say just one thing you do, but it was Janice Place.
Yeah, that's been the project that's taken an awful lot of my time over the last couple of years, and a rousing success, Hudson, as you know, because we opened up. When did we open? About a month ago, I guess. Gosh, it seems like yesterday. But yeah, congratulations to Chris Costin. Rotary sponsored this award, and UVic and Royal Roads University and the United Way and a number of other organizations sponsor awards that look like this when they're handed out. Quite a remarkable night last night, because when you take a look around that room and the people that were there with us at the Fairmont Empress, these are the people that are, for lack of a better term, or to use the cliche, the movers and shakers, the high rollers, the people that make it happen in the Victoria and the capital as far as nonprofits and doing things that, you know, really make a difference in people's lives for those who maybe don't have as many options as others. So all of the major nonprofits represented there, very proud to have been honored on a night that also gave the Lifetime Achievement Award to the remarkable Naz Ryani, who just keeps on going. He was there with his whole family. His little granddaughter came up on stage with him, and Dr. Andrew Weaver and a whole bunch of others. So very proud to accept this on behalf of all the organizations that I'm able to work with and assist, and on behalf of our entire team at CTV, including you, Hudson, because we all do so much to help this community that we love so much. I think we all together show great leadership.
Well, Bruce, it's apropos that you and Chris would be named the Rotary winners.
Yeah.
Chris is a former fellow Rotarian of mine on the Harborside Club, and you, of course, are a Paul Harris Fellow. So
that's true. He's in the Saanich Club now, I believe.
Is he now?
Chris is, yeah.
Well, we know you love this island. We'll talk more about that next week.
Well, yes, I do very much, and I'll tell you all about it starting next week.
All right, Bruce, thank you. Look forward to that, and congrats again.
Thank you.
Well, Big Blue isn't the only bridge undergoing some big construction project. Managers say traffic is also going to have to be redirected on the Craigflower Bridge or away from it once it's replaced this summer. An open house at the View Royal Town Hall today showed drivers and cyclists and pedestrians what to expect on Admirals Road from the Island Highway to Gorge Road. The new bridge will have 3 lanes for vehicles and will include bike lanes and sidewalks, along with a new fishing platform. The project managers say the bridge will help to ease congestion.
People going south and turning into View Royal, when they can't make that turn, they block the lanes, and so other cars going down into Esquimalt to the base are blocked. So this way, we'll have 1 lane to go into View Royal, and there'll be 1 lane to go to Esquimalt, and we're going to have much lower delays.
Craigflower Bridge construction will begin in June. The new bridge should be ready by this December. Well, also at the legislature, high school students in the Capital Region have been learning an important lesson in life. Students in Victoria were taught how to save a life in the Parliament buildings today. The Advanced Coronary Treatment Foundation wants to make CPR training part of the curriculum for all BC public secondary schools. The classmates were practicing on dummies with MLAs, as 2 rescuers explained how the training helped them to save a young man's life.
He was pale white, unconscious, and there was 2 other women already performing CPR on him. And then we kind of stepped in and assisted. I stabilized his head and opened his mouth and did mouth-to-mouth. And Candace did chest compressions on him. And we remained in that way and did cycles until the ambulance arrived.
42,000 students are trained in CPR in BC every year.
CTV News, Vancouver Island Report.
Good evening. RCMP and Nanaimo are dealing with an internal investigation tonight after they discovered that cash and cocaine have gone missing from their evidence locker. $10,000 in cash and about 1/3 of a gram of cocaine had been logged into evidence as part of a drug investigation. In December, investigators went looking for the evidence as part of a routine procedure, but it wasn't there. An officer with the Nanaimo detachment is now being investigated for his role in handling the evidence and has been put on administrative duty as the case is ongoing.
The Code of Conduct investigation relates to how this Mountie handled those exhibits. The Code of Conduct investigation is being conducted in concert with the statutory criminal investigation. It's not alleged that this Mountie has taken the exhibits at this time. It's alleged that he improperly handled those. If the finding in terms of that investigation is, if I substantiate that, that will go to an RCMP hearing in terms of how those exhibits were handled.
The RCMP's Island District General Investigation Unit is handling the case. The missing cash and coke has not been recovered. The Nanaimo Detachment Commander says he is very conscious of the possibility that this could have an effect on the outcome of the original drug investigation to which the evidence was connected. The City of Nanaimo has declared this to be Rotary Week, honoring the Service Club's work and its commitment to the community. The Rotary flag is flying at City Hall all week. Rotary International is celebrating 107 years of service this year. The club's been active in Nanaimo for most of that time, since 1920. The mayor says Rotary's contribution to the city is enormous, from small acts of kindness to financial support for major initiatives.
They were instrumental in restoration work on our bastion. There's been a number of community projects that they have got behind and promoted, and it's really a huge asset to the city. You know, we do have to depend so much on volunteers, and the Rotarians are an example of what it's like to volunteer for your community and at the same time make a meaningful contribution.
There are 5 Rotary clubs that serve the Mid-Island region, and they hope that Rotary Week will raise their profile even farther, encouraging new members to join.
We do everything from helping out with folks in crisis. For example, things like Haven House, we assisted with their new facility, both in terms of financial support and also hands-on work, painting the fence and such. We do community work in Nanaimo with everyone from age 0 to non-existent. We help out with hospice house and literacy programs.
The Nanaimo's Rotary Club meets Fridays at noon at the Coast Bastion Hotel.